Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I often hear people say, I just don't know what I want, and I get it. I've been there too. Life is full of so many possibilities, so many directions, that sometimes it feels paralyzing to try to figure out what path to take. But I want to share something with you that has truly changed my life. Clarity is the key. When you get clear about what you really want, when you sit with yourself and ask, what is my heart calling for? What is the one thing that would make me feel truly alive? That's when everything begins to shift. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. Suddenly you can see the way forward. You can see your potential. And you can see the steps you need to take to get there. Clarity doesn't mean everything will be easy. And it doesn't mean all the answers will come to you instantly. But when you have clarity about what you truly desire, whether it's in your career, your relationships, your health, or your personal growth, you're giving yourself permission to focus. You're choosing to put your energy, your time, and your heart behind something that matters to you. Imagine driving a car with no map, no GPS, no clear direction. How long do you think you'd be able to keep going without feeling lost or frustrated? Not long. It's the same with your life. Without clarity, you're wandering. You're reacting to whatever life throws at you. But with clarity, it's like you found your destination. You know where you're headed, and that makes every decision, every step so much easier to take. Clarity is like a compass. In the face of distractions, setbacks, and even temptations to go off course, your clear vision keeps you aligned. Think about it. When you know exactly where you want to go, all of a sudden your priorities become crystal clear. Your energy is focused, and you begin to make decisions that support your vision. When you're not clear about your goals, you end up chasing everything and nothing at the same time. You might find yourself saying yes to things that don't really serve you out of fear or obligation, or simply because you're unsure of what you truly want. I want you to understand that clarity isn't about having all the answers at once. It's about taking the time to tune into yourself, to listen to that quiet voice inside that knows what you want. And when you give yourself permission to get clear, the noise of the world gets a little quieter. You start to feel like you can breathe, like you can move forward with purpose, with intention. And let me tell you something, when you step into that space of clarity, doors begin to open. You'll start to attract the right people, the right opportunities, and the right experiences that align with your goals. It's like the universe starts to conspire in your favor when you show up clear and ready. So take a moment right now, my friends. Ask yourself, what do I truly want? What's the vision that makes your heart race with excitement? What's the dream that makes you feel like you could jump out of bed every morning with a sense of purpose? That clarity will empower you, guide you, and ultimately lead you to a life that is in alignment with your deepest desires. And when you live in that kind of alignment, when you live in your truth, nothing and no one can stop you. Now, let me tell you something about big goals. They can be intimidating. Just think about it. When you look at a huge mountain from the bottom, the peak seems so far away. It feels like an impossible climb. And that's what often stops us from even starting. Our goals feel so overwhelming that we get paralyzed. But here's what I've learned along the way. The key to achieving anything, no matter how big or grand, is to start small. Break it down. Take it one step at a time. You see, when you focus on the whole mountain, it feels like you're trying to do everything all at once. That's where overwhelm kicks in. But when you focus on the first step, just one thing you can do today to get closer to your goal, it shifts the energy. It turns a huge, daunting task into something that feels completely doable. It turns a mountain into a series of small, manageable hills. Think about it like this. If your goal is to get in shape, the idea of running a marathon may seem impossible if you're not even running a mile yet. But if you break it down and say, today, I'll walk for 10 minutes. And then tomorrow you add just a little more, maybe a short jog. That's how you build momentum. One small step at a time. And you'll be amazed at how those little moments add up. Let me share a personal story with you. A few years ago, I had this big dream to start my own company. It felt like this massive, unattainable goal, so many moving parts, so many things I had to figure out. I could have easily let that feeling of overwhelm stop me in my tracks. But instead, I broke it down. I asked myself, what's the first thing I need to do today to get closer to that goal? The answer was simple: start researching. So I spent the next hour reading, taking notes, just learning what I didn't know. It wasn't glamorous, it wasn't earth-shattering, but it was a step. The next day, I took another small action, and then another. And before I knew it, I had a solid foundation of knowledge, a clear path forward, and eventually a thriving business. But it all started with one small focused step. The beauty of starting small is that it allows you to build confidence and momentum. When you tackle smaller, more achievable tasks, you feel the sense of accomplishment that fuels the next step. You can actually see the progress you're making. And that progress, no matter how small, keeps you motivated to keep moving forward. It gives you that sense of, I'm doing this, I can do this. Another key point here is that when you focus on the process, not just the outcome, you start to enjoy the journey. We often get so fixated on the end result, the finish line, the final product, that we forget to appreciate how much we grow along the way. When you focus on the steps, you learn more, you build new skills, you become better at what you're doing. And that's where the magic happens. It's in the doing, not just the achieving. So I want you to think about your biggest goal right now. Whatever it is, don't look at it as this massive, insurmountable challenge. Ask yourself, what's the very first thing I can do today to move toward it? Maybe it's sending an email, writing one paragraph, making one phone call, or just carving out 15 minutes to plan. Whatever it is, make it small, make it doable. And then celebrate that small win. You did it, you made progress. And the more you do that, the more natural it becomes to keep moving forward. The journey starts to feel more manageable, less scary, and before you know it, you'll have made incredible strides toward achieving your goal. Remember, success is built one step at a time. It's not about giant leaps or dramatic shifts. It's about the small, consistent actions you take day after day. And when you build on those small wins, that's when the big breakthroughs happen. So don't worry if your goal seems too big right now. Just take the first step and then take the next, and keep moving one small action at a time. I promise you, that's the path to success. Let me tell you something about momentum. It's powerful. It's one of the most overlooked yet most effective tools we have in the pursuit of our goals. Think about a boulder at the top of a hill. At first, it's heavy, hard to move, and feels like it's stuck. But once it starts to roll, even just a little, it picks up speed, it gathers energy, it builds. And before long, that small push has turned into unstoppable force. This is what happens when you focus on building momentum in your life. When you commit to small, consistent actions every day, you may not always see dramatic changes in the beginning. But I promise you, each tiny action you take is like a grain of sand that eventually builds into a mountain. Over time, that momentum compounds and propels you forward in ways you can't even imagine at the start. Here's the thing: consistency is key. It's not about doing everything perfectly or working nonstop. It's about showing up each day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Think about it. If you wanted to run a marathon, but you're not a runner right now, you don't need to run 26 miles today. You just need to put on your sneakers and start with a short walk or jog, and then tomorrow you do it again, just a little bit more than the day before. Momentum is about building on success. Small wins lead to bigger wins. Each goal you achieve, no matter how small, gives you the confidence to tackle the next challenge. It's a snowball effect. You finish one task and you feel energized, ready to take on the next. The key is to keep that energy flowing. Think about a time when you felt really in the flow of life. Maybe it was when you were working on a project or pursuing something you loved. It wasn't about doing everything all at once. It was the small, consistent effort you made every single day that built momentum. And before you knew it, you were in the zone. You were moving with ease, you were moving with purpose, and you were getting things done, one task at a time. Momentum also has a funny way of turning setbacks into opportunities. When you've built enough momentum, even when things don't go perfectly, you can bounce back faster. It's like riding a bike. When you're pedaling, the bike stays upright and steady. When you stop pedaling, you start to lose balance. But when you keep going, the momentum keeps you moving forward, even through the bumps and turns. Let's be honest, life isn't always smooth sailing. There are times when we feel stuck or we encounter obstacles. But it's in those moments that momentum becomes your greatest ally. You keep going, even when it feels hard. You stay consistent, even when the results aren't immediately visible. And because you've built that forward motion, you find yourself more equipped to handle the challenges that come your way. Momentum also creates momentum of belief. The more you achieve, the more you begin to believe in your own ability. Small wins reinforce your sense of capability, and soon you'll find yourself taking on bigger, bolder challenges. You start to trust yourself more. You start to realize, I've done this before. I know I can do it again. That belief in yourself becomes a powerful force that drives you forward. Think about a writer who sets out to write a book. At first, the pages may seem empty, the ideas may be scattered, but each day the writer commits to writing a little more. They write a paragraph, then a page, then a chapter. Slowly but surely, they build momentum. And after a while, those scattered thoughts have turned into a manuscript. The key wasn't in writing a perfect draft on day one, it was in showing up every day, taking that small step. That's how momentum builds. So I want to ask you today, what small action can you take today that will move you closer to your goal? It might seem like a small step, but trust me, it's one step closer to building that unstoppable momentum. Maybe it's making a phone call, writing a paragraph, sending an email, or even just setting aside 10 minutes to plan. Whatever it is, do it, and then do it again tomorrow. Keep building. Because when you build momentum, you start to see the ripple effect in every area of your life. You start feeling more productive, more confident, and more capable of tackling anything that comes your way. Momentum will push you forward, even when you feel tired or uncertain. It keeps you going when you want to stop. And when you look back, you'll realize that all those small, consistent actions created something so much bigger than you ever imagined. So don't wait for the perfect moment to start. Don't wait for everything to align perfectly before you take action. Start now, no matter how small, and let the momentum carry you forward. Because the more you take those steps, the closer you get to the life you've dreamed of. And once you've got momentum, nothing can stop you. One of the most powerful things you can do for yourself when pursuing your dreams is to set yourself up for success. And how do you do that? By ensuring that the goals you set are not only inspiring, but also realistic and achievable. Now, don't get me wrong, dream big, really dream big. But here's the thing, if you set a goal that is so far out of reach, one that feels completely impossible from where you are today, you're likely to experience frustration and burnout before you ever get close to achieving it. The problem isn't that you dream too big, it's that you forgot to map out the journey. And that journey begins with goals that stretch you but are still within your grasp. Think about it when you start a new project, whether it's writing a book, getting in shape, or starting a business, the end result might seem miles away. That's okay. But it's essential to set goals that feel like they're within reach when you begin the journey, even if they're still challenging. Goals that feel just beyond your current abilities, goals that will require you to grow, to push yourself, but not break you. Let's break it down. If you want to lose 50 pounds, for example, telling yourself, I'm going to lose it all in 1 month may sound inspiring at first. But it's also a setup for disappointment. It's an unrealistic expectation that when unmet can lead to feelings of failure. But what if instead you set a more achievable goal, like I'm going to aim for 1 to 2 pounds per week? That's a goal that's more realistic, but it still requires you to take consistent action and discipline. It's stretching, but not overwhelming. The key here is to break your larger, more ambitious goals into smaller, more manageable milestones. These milestones serve as stepping stones that not only make the journey feel less daunting, but also allow you to celebrate your wins along the way. Every time you reach one of these smaller goals, you're not just getting closer to the end result, you're building momentum and boosting your confidence. Each small success gives you the belief that you can achieve the next one. I remember when I first started in the media world, I had this huge vision of creating a platform that could impact millions of lives. But I knew that such a vision couldn't come to life overnight. It would take years of hard work, learning, and growth. So instead of focusing solely on the final vision, I focused on the small, achievable steps. My first goal was to create a successful show, then build a loyal audience, then expand into other projects. Each of these small wins helped propel me forward toward the larger vision. Now, this doesn't mean you should lower your standards. Absolutely not. It just means you need to find that sweet spot between stretching yourself and staying grounded in reality. A goal should challenge you to grow, but it shouldn't leave you feeling like you're chasing something that's too far away. It's about striking a balance between ambition and practicality. Setting achievable goals also helps to prevent burnout. Because let's face it, we've all been there. You set a goal that's too big, too overwhelming, and you go full throttle toward it. You give it everything you have at the start, but after a few weeks, you're exhausted, you're discouraged. You start to question whether it's even worth it. But if your goals are realistic, if you've broken them down into smaller pieces, you can pace yourself. You can take steady, consistent action without burning out. And this is crucial because sustainable progress is the key to long-term success. Here's another thing: when you set goals that are achievable, you also create a sense of self-trust. Every time you follow through on a realistic goal, you're proving to yourself that you can keep your promises. This builds a deeper level of self-belief, and the more you trust yourself, the easier it becomes to aim higher, take risks, and keep going when things get tough. So as you look at your goals today, whether they're personal, professional, or a combination of both, ask yourself, are they achievable in the time and resources I have right now? Are they stretching me, making me grow, but still grounded enough to feel possible? Can I break them down into smaller, manageable milestones? If you answer yes to all of these, then you're on the right path. You're setting yourself up for success. And remember, the journey to achieving your biggest goals is made up of all the small, realistic, achievable steps you take along the way. Each one is just as important as the final destination. And when you approach your goals in this way, when you set yourself up for success from the beginning, you'll find that your dreams will feel less like a distant fantasy and more like an exciting, real possibility. I want to take a moment to talk about something incredibly important: celebrating your small wins. We live in a world where we're constantly told to keep going, to keep striving, and to focus on the big picture. And yes, while it's essential to have a vision, it's just as crucial to recognize and celebrate the small steps that get you there. We're often so focused on the end result, the big goal, the final achievement, that we forget to pause and appreciate the progress we're making in real time. But the truth is, those small wins, those little moments of progress, are what keep the fire alive. They fuel your motivation and build your confidence, and without them, it's easy to lose sight of why you're working so hard in the first place. You see, success doesn't happen overnight. It's a series of small, sometimes seemingly insignificant actions that accumulate over time. And when you recognize those moments, when you take time to say, yes, I did it, I'm one step closer, something incredible happens. It boosts your energy. It strengthens your belief in yourself. It reinforces that you're on the right path. Let's think about a personal goal. Maybe you're writing a book or working on a creative project. At first, it can feel overwhelming. The mountain ahead seems steep. But then you finish the first chapter, or you write one page or even one paragraph. That might seem small in the grand scheme of things, but it's a huge victory in the moment. It's evidence that you are making progress. And that's worth celebrating. Every time you cross off a small goal on your list, whether it's sticking to your workout plan for the week, making one more sale, finishing a task you've been putting off, or even simply waking up on time, acknowledge it. Take a moment to feel proud of yourself. Say, I did it, I made progress, I'm getting closer to my dream. Why is this so important? Because when you fail to celebrate the small wins, it's easy to slip into a mindset where you feel like you're never doing enough. You're always pushing, always striving, always looking ahead to the next big goal without pausing to reflect on how far you've come. This can lead to burnout, frustration, and self-doubt. But when you celebrate small wins, you shift your mindset. Instead of focusing on what's left to do, you focus on what you've already accomplished. This creates a sense of gratitude, of satisfaction, and most importantly, momentum. The more you celebrate, the more energized and motivated you become to keep going. Let me share a story with you. Early in my career, I used to focus solely on the end goal. I'd set a big dream, work relentlessly toward it, and ignore all the small victories along the way. I was so focused on the finish line that I didn't take time to acknowledge the milestones I passed to get there. And as a result, I'd feel exhausted and disheartened, even after reaching some major accomplishments. But eventually, I learned the power of celebrating the journey. Now, whenever I accomplish something, no matter how small, I take a moment to celebrate. Sometimes it's a quiet moment of self-reflection. Other times it's sharing the victory with those around me. But no matter how I celebrate, I make sure I acknowledge that progress, because progress is a victory. And even the smallest step forward deserves recognition. Now, I want to ask you, when was the last time you truly celebrated a small win in your life? When was the last time you recognized the effort you've put in, no matter how small the results seemed? Maybe you finished a task you've been avoiding. Maybe you had a difficult conversation and handled it with grace. Or maybe you just stayed focused and consistent for a week, which is an achievement in itself. Celebrate that. Don't wait until you've reached the final destination to feel proud of your journey. Every step matters. When you look at your goals, see them not as something to achieve, but as something to affirm. They affirm that you believe in your dreams, that you are capable of creating a life that fulfills you, and that you have the strength to face whatever challenges come your way. Every goal you set, no matter how big or small, is a testament to your belief in your own potential. Remember, when you pursue your goals, you are not simply chasing an outcome, you are affirming to yourself that you deserve everything you dream of. You are worthy of the wealth, the health, the relationships, and the life that you desire. Your goals are a reflection of that worth. So from this point forward, every time you set a goal, remind yourself that you are worthy of it. You are worthy of the hard work it will take. You are worthy of the time and effort it will require. You are worthy of the success and the happiness that will come your way as a result of your determination, your courage, and your belief in yourself. Your goals reflect your belief in your own value, your potential, and your worth. You are worthy of living the life of your dreams. And I want you to remember this every single day as you move toward those dreams. You deserve it. One of the most powerful tools in achieving your goals is the ability to visualize your success. I can't stress this enough. Visualization is not just a daydream, it is a mental practice that can reinforce your commitment and make the path to your goals feel not only clearer, but also attainable. Here's the truth: your mind is a powerful tool. It doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So when you close your eyes and picture yourself achieving your goals, whether it's standing on a stage, hitting a sales target, graduating, or launching that business, you're essentially training your mind and body for success. You're creating a mental blueprint of what's possible. And this mental imagery can help shape your reality. Let's talk about how this works. When you visualize success, you're not just imagining an end result. You're also seeing yourself in the process, the small steps, the effort, the struggles, and the triumphs. Visualization is about seeing the entire journey, not just the destination. And by doing this, you create a powerful sense of connection to your goal. You feel it, you experience it, you embody it in a way that makes the process feel more real and accessible. Think of it like a runner preparing for a race. Before ever setting foot on the track, they can close their eyes and visualize themselves crossing the finish line, feeling the wind, hearing the crowd, and experiencing the sense of accomplishment. But they don't just imagine crossing the finish line, they visualize themselves training, pushing through the tough moments when they want to quit, and feeling that surge of strength when they push through pain and fatigue. Visualization is a rehearsal for the mind, helping you mentally prepare for the effort and determination it will take to succeed. When you visualize your success, it helps to build confidence and belief in yourself. You're telling your subconscious mind that you are capable of achieving what you've set out to do. You're reminding yourself over and over again of the possibility and reality of your dreams. And here's the thing: the more you see yourself achieving your goals in your mind, the more likely it is that you'll find the courage, the determination, and the energy to actually make it happen in real life. Visualization doesn't just prepare you mentally, it also helps you emotionally connect with your goals. Think about the emotions you'll feel when you achieve your goal: joy, pride, excitement, relief. When you visualize, you tap into those positive emotions and align your energy with your desires. This emotional connection makes the pursuit of your goals feel less like a distant, impossible dream and more like something you're actively working toward. It shifts the energy from wishful thinking to focused determination. Let me give you an example. When I was building my career in television, I spent many years visualizing my success. I would imagine myself on stage, speaking to millions, having meaningful conversations with people from all walks of life. I saw myself sharing powerful stories, empowering others, and making a real impact on the world. But I didn't just see the glory moments, I also visualized the challenges, the long hours, the rejection, the setbacks. And by doing that, I mentally prepared myself to handle those challenges when they came. Visualization made the hard moments feel more manageable because I had already seen myself overcoming them in my mind. It made me resilient, and it helped me stay grounded and focused, even when the path ahead seemed uncertain. It was a constant reminder that success wasn't just something that happened in the future, it was something I was actively building step by step, moment by moment. But visualization isn't just about imagining the good things that will happen. It's also about training your mind to handle adversity, obstacles, and mistakes with grace and perseverance. By mentally rehearsing the difficult moments and visualizing yourself overcoming them, you reinforce the idea that challenges are just part of the journey and that you have the strength to face them head on. Another powerful aspect of visualization is that it can help you align your actions with your vision. When you spend time visualizing your goals, your mind becomes attuned to the steps required to get there. You start to recognize opportunities you might have missed before. You make decisions more confidently because you've already mentally rehearsed the outcomes. You are wired for success, and your actions begin to reflect that alignment. Your vision becomes the filter through which you make every decision, every move, and every choice along the way. So let me ask you, how often do you take the time to visualize your success? How often do you close your eyes and imagine yourself achieving your goal? Not just the final moment of success, but every step in between. I encourage you to make it a daily practice. Spend a few minutes each day visualizing your goals as if they are already happening. Picture yourself living your dream, feeling the emotions of success, experiencing the challenges, and overcoming them. Visualization isn't just a tool for athletes or high achievers, it's a tool for anyone who wants to bring their dreams into reality. When you visualize your success, you create an inner confidence that propels you forward, even when obstacles arise. You develop a deeper belief that what you want is possible, and that you are capable of making it happen. Remember, you are not just dreaming, you are preparing yourself. Every time you visualize, you are getting one step closer to turning your dreams into reality. So take a few moments today to visualize. See yourself achieving your goals. Feel the emotions. Experience the victory in your mind and know that it's possible. Your mind is powerful. Let it be your biggest goal. When we talk about goals, we often focus on the destination, the end result. Too often, we get caught up in the belief that our goals are just a series of things to check off a list. We think that once we've crossed off every item, we'll be happy, fulfilled, and successful. But what happens when we reach that final goal? We realize something profound. The sense of accomplishment isn't just in reaching the goal, but in everything that happens along the way, the growth, the challenges, and the lessons that shape us into the people capable of achieving those goals. The truth is, goals are not just about crossing things off a list, they're about the journey of becoming the person you need to be in order to live the life you want. They're about creating a life that aligns with your values, your passions, and your purpose. Goals are the roadmaps, but the journey is the experience that molds you into the version of yourself who can embrace success when it arrives. So many times we become fixated on the destination and forget to honor the process. We push ourselves forward with the mindset that once I get there, everything will be perfect, but in reality, life is not about perfection, it's about growth. It's about embracing the moments of struggle, the moments of failure, and the lessons learned in those hard moments. It's about becoming more resilient, more creative, and more adaptable as you work toward your dreams. You see, every step you take on your journey, whether forward or backward, shapes your character. It teaches you something about who you are and who you want to become. When things don't go according to plan, you don't fail, you learn. You learn about your strengths, your weaknesses, and the areas where you need to grow. You learn how to adapt, how to pivot, and how to stay focused on the bigger picture, even when things don't unfold as expected. Embrace the process of growth and learning. When you set a goal, you are not just seeking an external achievement, but a transformation of yourself. The person you are today is not the person who will achieve that goal. You will evolve. You will stretch. You will become a more capable, confident, and wiser version of yourself as you go through the process. Growth happens in the moments between the milestones and the struggles and the overcoming and the small wins and in the lessons learned. Take, for example, someone working toward physical fitness. It's easy to focus solely on the goal of losing weight or getting stronger. But the real growth happens as they show up every day, learning to push through discomfort, cultivating discipline, building resilience, and seeing themselves in a new light. The process of becoming stronger, both physically and mentally, is just as valuable as the weight they lose or the muscles they gain. In fact, it's often the journey, the small choices made every day, that shapes their long-term success more than any singular result. The journey is also where you discover what truly matters to you. When you set a goal, you often realize that there are sacrifices, choices, and compromises along the way. But you also learn about your priorities, the things that align with your values and give you meaning. The process reveals what you truly care about, what drives you, and what will keep you going when things get tough. In the pursuit of your goals, you discover more about yourself than you ever could simply by reaching the goal. This journey isn't always linear. There will be days when you feel like you're making progress, and days when you feel like you're stuck. Some days you'll take giant leaps forward, other days you'll take small steps. And there may be times when you face setbacks, feel discouraged, or even want to quit. But remember, these setbacks are part of the process. It's in these moments, the moments when you feel like giving up, that you have the opportunity to decide who you want to be. Will you give up, or will you rise to the challenge? Will you stay stuck in frustration, or will you find the lesson and move forward? The journey teaches you more about perseverance, patience, and inner strength than the destination ever will. I want you to reflect on this. What is the lesson you're learning right now? Every moment on the path toward your goal is an opportunity for learning. You might not see the full picture now, but every challenge you face, every decision you make is bringing you closer to your highest potential. The destination is important, yes, but the person you become along the way is even more important. So embrace the process. Embrace the ups and downs, the twists and turns, the setbacks and breakthroughs. Honor the growth and the learning that are happening with every step you take. Don't rush the journey just to get to the destination. Allow yourself to enjoy the ride, to savor the progress, and to celebrate the small wins. Remember, the goal is not just to achieve something, but to create the life you want, a life filled with meaning, purpose, and growth. And the journey is the canvas upon which you will paint the masterpiece of your life. So step forward with confidence, knowing that every moment of the journey is as valuable as the destination you are working toward.